is profitability? Is it in the room with us right now? Nintendo, I will literally give you $70 cash money right now for red, blue, yellow, gold, silver. Cash money. No. No. My emotions. My emotions.
愚蠢的美国人和约翰
John Cena.
没错，先生，因为这个视频是给美国人看的，我们想说什么就说什么，字幕会坏的。
This one doesn't work. And this one doesn't work. But no one is seeing your film on the big screen. But people are seeing movie theaters. They're driving past them every day to go to McDonald's. The Shamrock Shake is back. Yes! Yes! Pre-order now! This is how it feels to watch Disney Plus. Oh my gosh. Go full screen. Yes. Hello. I'm here. Good afternoon, everybody. I am the real life fake wizard here with the Wizards Crash Out Fantastic Four Death March. Happy Sunday. We're very late. This is a late stream. Coming in an hour or so. Yeah, actually an hour late. We were at the GalaxyCon convention here in Raleigh. So getting out was a little difficult. We were like, we're going to run in, we're going to shoot all the footage, we're going to get in, we're going to get out, because we're trying to do shorts, which is, this is actually a pretty good introduction here. We are starting to do shorts in the coming kind of days, I think, to pair along with the launch of Fake Portal, which I'll talk more about in just a few minutes. We are going to be doing a lot more shorts form content. We're going to put on like places like Instagram and maybe like a shorts channel here on YouTube, or maybe we'll post them on Twitter. Not too sure yet, but we decided we wanted to go to like GalaxyCon. People's going to be in cosplay. I'll wear the cosplay. Well, I am a cosplay. Like that's all I am, right? And we figured we would interview people and just ask them like silly questions. And you know what's really funny? Like this is a really good topic to start with. Like if I interview people and I'm not wearing the full wizard outfit with the full wizard robe, people are like really uncomfortable. And that's, I'm very tall, and you guys know my voice, like how I talk here. Like that's how I talk. I'm very loud. I have a very loud voice. I'm like, hey, how are we doing? You know, I come in maybe a little hot. And I realized after this convention and definitely doing the last one, like people feel less happy to be around me unless I'm dressed like a wizard. And I'm realizing that I am more like, if you've ever seen the Muppets from 2011, there's a song in that movie where the people are discussing whether they are men or Muppets. Am I a man or am I a Muppet? And I feel that now. Like I have to choose, am I a man or am I a wizard? And it's, I don't know how to feel about it, man. But no, we're here. We a little late. We got a lot of stuff to talk through. We got a lot going on. Yeah, is that a brand issue? It's not, yeah, I guess it does sound like a brand issue. Oh, that's a Daisy profile picture there. Oh, we probably might have a Nintendo fan with us, folks. But all right, we got a lot to talk through today. Fantastic Four just came out. We got to talk about that. I have seen the film. I have not done a review video. I'm gonna attempt to avoid spoilers as best as I can. Not that anyone really cares. And that's kind of the big topic of the day, is like the box office is being reported as being this overwhelming success, like this overwhelming hit. At least that's what the Access Media is saying. We're going to take a look at that. Our buddy Marvin over at That Park Place just posted an article a little while ago saying that that's not entirely true. The Access Media could be lying a bit, or not necessarily lying, misrepresenting the truth. It's very early on with these superhero movies. I don't know how things are going to end up. We'll have to wait and see. So we're going to talk Fantastic Four, and my thoughts on the film and how I feel about it. And then we also need to talk a little bit about Avengers Doomsday. There's been a tiny bit of news, and I think those two stories kind of go together. But then, of course, the biggest thing we need to get into and continuing the discussion of is this credit card situation that we discussed last week here on the stream that had to do with Steam and how the credit card processors are being petitioned by social groups and by these charity organizations to come down hard upon game service stores like Steam and like what we're going to look through, which is itch.io. Itch.io mostly focuses on indie games. Well, that hits us very close to home because that's where we are going to be sending people in a couple of days when we go live with Fake Portal. We're going to be linking out to places like Steam and itch.io. So these are very, very interesting topics, and it's a very scary time indeed. With that, let's go ahead and transition over. Let's talk about Fantastic Four. Let's see if I can do this right. I am not prepared correctly, but let's go for it. Yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't hit share screen fast enough. It's literally 3 seconds I have to click share screen, and I didn't click it fast enough. But there we go. All right, now I'm on screen. This is the wrong story. Let's show this. All right. So let's just talk about the movie on its own first. So this is Fantastic Four First Steps, or as I called it in the title here, Fantastic Four Death March. Okay, this is a no spoiler discussion. I'm going to try to avoid spoilers as best I can. The box office itself has been a very tricky thing as of late. Are people going to movies? Why aren't people going to movies? Why are some movies performing exceedingly well and why are some not? Why did Minecraft do so well at the box office? Well, if we pay attention to that, it's because it was a meme. Minecraft was a complete meme. People were not seeing it and saying, wow, this is great. People were seeing it and saying, wow, we're going to make fun of this. Okay, you had high school kids going out in droves, trashing movie theaters, making fun of it. The movie made $1 billion. It's not a very good movie. Minecraft is objectively not a good movie. It's just a roller coaster ride and not even a good one. Okay. Then we get to Superman, and Superman is polarizing. It's a polarizing movie. I discussed this on stream. I did a video follow-up of it. That video, which took me hours to do and was really stressful to get done. Everyone kind of collectively didn't like it. I lost a lot of subscribers to it. I have no regrets. If you're going to give me shit that I can't say how I really feel about these things, and my feelings were I was conflicted. If you got a problem with me saying that I was conflicted, but I didn't say if it was good or bad, I just pointed out the flaws that I noticed with the film, and you can't handle me saying that, I don't give a shit. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Your order's up. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm going to express myself in the way that I see fit, and I'm going to talk about these movies in the way that I see fit. So as we transition here into Fantastic Four, I'm going to say something many of you are not going to like. I actually kind of liked it. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I apologize for nothing. Fantastic Four First Steps, I actually thought was pretty good. Now, hear me out why. Hear me out with why. Actually, I got to pull my tweet up. Or really, I think I posted it in my review. There are a lot of things. This is like spoilery thing. I'm going to just hide this, and then I'll share it in a second. There are lots of things that people have been complaining about across the internet that they wanted in the superhero movies again, okay? There are things that we have been complaining about. There are things that people have been saying, like, I want this back in my movies. I want these things. I want these things. Okay, well, I have a list of them here that we're going to read through, and you're going to see these are things that are in this movie that you've all been asking for, myself included. Okay, what is on this list? Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, Fantastic Four. And remember, this is not spoilers. This movie has straight couple romances. In fact, it has positive straight couple romances. Okay? Everybody's been saying that. Everybody's been talking about that. Oh, there's no more straight couple romances in the movies. This movie has that. Okay, number one. Number two, positive family dynamics. The family elements of this movie are really well done. Okay, I'll give it that. It's got positive family dynamics. Okay, is it perfect? No. Is it better than anything I've seen Disney do in the last decade? Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Okay. This movie has, which is interesting for a Marvel film, this movie has a terrifying villain. Galactus is genuinely scary. He's a genuinely scary figure. He's a good villain. And you know why? Because the entire time you're thinking, if you're as immersed in it as I think I was, you're constantly thinking, how are they going to get past this? How are they going to survive this? If you've seen Thunderbolts, which of the 150 people watching right now, by the way, shout out, we are multicasting right now. Shout out to YouTube, Twitter, Rumble. We are on all three right now. Love you all. I see the Rumble chat over here. I finally figured out how to pull the Rumble chat up, so shout out to Rumble. And Twitter, I love you too, but I don't see the Twitter chat properly other than on StreamYard, but we're cool. Anyway, the entire time I was sitting there thinking, we saw Thunderbolts end with them arriving on 616 Earth, which is the Earth we are familiar with. It's our Avengers Earth, which tells us that something is going to happen on the Fantastic Four's planet, the Earth that they are from, where they are going to have to leave that Earth, okay? So this entire film, you'll be sitting there thinking, as I was, will they lose? And we don't really know what the answer to that is, okay? I won't ruin what I think the answer is, okay? Because there's a lot going on there. You know, what is winning in this case? And I think the film does a very good job of elevating the stakes of here's an actual formidable threat that they might not be able to defeat. Following that, there's consequences to actions. This film has consequences to the actions the characters take. Maybe you don't like them all. Maybe you don't agree with where all of the actions could have gone, but they have actual consequences. It's people can die in this world. Okay, there are actual consequences to actions. We don't get to see that often. So seeing it in something like this, especially the fact it was from Marvel, I thought it was refreshing. Next line. People are complaining about this. My friends over at That Park Place are complaining about this, although I haven't streamed with them about it yet. I would love to discuss it with them. Many of them are complaining that the world itself is not relatable. Oh boy. The planet that this Fantastic Four takes place on is not relatable because all of the people, and I quote, are cardboard people. That was kind of the point. And that felt a little refreshing in the fact that it wasn't our world. It wasn't as complex as our world is or has been, or how all the other baggage of the MCU carries in that world. This was an entirely fictionalized world, and it was almost exciting at how everything just kind of came together around the Fantastic Four. And that's not really, I'm trying not to spoil it too much, but the Fantastic Four has a lot of pull on the cogs and movements of the world, and it's in a good way. And it feels like it's directly out of a comic book because of how unbelievable it actually is. The fact that the entire world could come together in a matter of days to accomplish something when the world is at stake. And like that was kind of neat. I thought that was kind of neat. I thought that was fresh. That was not something we've really seen before, especially out of Marvel. And I thought it was kind of unique. Next thing. And I think this is, I'll tell you, this line right here is why I like the movie. Sincerity. Guys, this movie is so sincere. And what does that mean? What does sincerity mean? It means it's not cracking jokes. It's not making quips. It's not robbing us of emotional scenes. Characters were able to feel things. They were able to express themselves. They were able to cry when crying was necessary. And I'm not saying that was an emasculating thing. There was emotion behind the choices of the characters. They felt things, and therefore the audience was able to feel things too. There is, if you felt as immersed as I was with it, there is a moment towards maybe the beginning of Act 3 where you're like, oh, they may lose. And they still, I don't know, like I said, I'm not spoiling it. They still might have, and that's not me dancing around. They might have still lost. We don't really know. There's a moment with the Thing where he goes back home, and he enters into a specific building to speak to somebody. And there is a sincere moment there in the film where you're able to connect with these characters of like, oh, shnikes. The threat is that high that some of these, they're saying goodbye in case they all lose. And I don't recall anything Marvel's done that has that level of sincerity where I'm like, oh, damn. All right. Well, that actually feel something there. All right, hang on. Before we continue, my man 30 here, which shout out to him. Check out his channel. Really awesome stuff. I wish the movie had about 15 to 20 more minutes, another 15 to 20 minutes. Let me tell you why I disagree. They would have screwed it up. If this movie had an additional 10, 15, 20 more minutes, they would have screwed it up. I'm actually, because I don't trust Marvel and I don't trust Disney, I'm actually comfortable saying I'm glad we were left wanting more because we would never be super satisfied. This is the kind of thing where less was more. Everybody's saying, oh, well, they cut so much. They cut so much. They cut so much. They left you wanting more from the characters. I think that's okay. And so, like, I agree. It would have been nice to have another 15, 20 minutes, maybe, but they would have botched it. So I don't feel the same way. I know that there's a lot of elements that felt rushed. You know, I would have loved more characterization with Silver Surfer. I would have loved more characterization with the Thing. I would have loved a little more from Galactus. But actually, I don't know if I would have. I don't think they could have delivered on the things that we wanted more of. And this is a good point. Bro, the pacing was way too fast. Pacing was very fast. It was very, very fast because this movie's also being made for the TikTok era. It's also being made for the TikTok era. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And the attention spans are all gone. So Hollywood doesn't know what pacing is. Hollywood does not know what pacing is. Let me also say, this isn't one of the best movies I've ever seen. I'm not going to glaze this movie as much. I'm pointing out, just in this list, these are things that everyone keeps asking for. Straight couple romances, positive family dynamics, terrifying villains, consequences to actions, a fictional world, actually fictional worlds, sincerity, which this movie has more of than I think any Marvel movie that I can remember. And next on the list, let's keep going here. Relatable character choices. There are actually relatable character choices in this movie. The things that people do, you look at these, the choices that they make, and you say, well, you know what? I get it. I actually dig that. I get it. It's likable. It's fine. It's a little fun. It's a little fun. I think it was okay. But hey, hang on. This movie also has Last Jedi scene robbery bullshit. Okay, let us not forget. There's got to be at least one major flaw. Last Jedi scene robbery nonsense. Okay, it absolutely does. I gave it an 80 out of 100. I can't believe I gave it an 80 out of 100. But I keep thinking back to this movie, and when I walked out of Superman, when I walked out of Superman, I felt immediately conflicted, and it took me a long time to process my emotions on that. When I walked out of Fantastic Four, and I'll tell you this. Firstly, I got to see it with Kata. So Kata and I went together here. Here, I could actually transition over because I think I have it queued up. Yeah, Kata and I went to see Fantastic Four together. So I had this queued up from last night's stream. But so that was fun, getting to go with friends. But I got really stupid, terrible news, like right as I was going into the theater. We pulled up in the parking lot. It's like 9:00 on Thursday night, and I'm getting texts from my phone with like critically terrible work news that it's the kind of shit you lose sleep over. Okay, so we've not been having a great week. And the fact that I was able to like feel that and be like, ah, shit, this sucks, and then still walk out and say that I like this movie. I don't know. I think to me that really kind of, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that, oh, this movie is terrible. Blah, 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 blah. I actually thought it was pretty good. I actually thought the movie was good. Does that mean Marvel's back, baby? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean Marvel's back. I think Marvel is still a disaster. We're going to look in just a minute and talk about the box office statistics and analytics and how it doesn't look very good. But the point is this is not the worst thing in the world. I was listening, what was it? It was Critical Drinkers After Hours. It was a clip from the Drinkers stream. It just came up, and it had, he's got the panel of people talking on there. Now, normally I like all the people that he had on, but they were ranting and raving and tearing this movie apart. And I was like, did we see the same movie? How are you tearing this one apart? It has all the things you've been asking for. And the story, it's a goofy comic booky story. It's not a War and Peace. We're not dealing with a Shakespeare here, which that's not an excuse. But I'm able to put it in perspective of comparing it back to what everything else has been. Compare this to the Marvels. It was pretty good. I had a good time. That might sound like cope to some people. Hey, I don't know. The idea, good God. Oh my gosh, the beard is this beard is on its last legs, my friends. It's going to be time to replace it soon. But it's like getting right in my eyes. Most Marvel movies, and then especially we just had Superman a couple weeks ago. Superman doesn't take itself seriously at all in places where we wish it does, or at least I wish it does. I wish it took itself a little more seriously in places where that was important, and it doesn't. So for this movie to not be quippy like that, I didn't hate it. I have to say, I don't like Pedro, and I didn't hate him in this. See, that's the big thing. I'm sick of Pedro Pascal talking outside of the movies and shows that he's in. I'm going to jump the gun here a little bit. I'm working on a couple of videos. So I have a video that's going live hopefully tomorrow, should be posted hopefully tomorrow. And that discussion video is going to be, it's an investigative video that we did. And it's about, is superhero fatigue real? We were at the GalaxyCon this weekend, and we interviewed close to 100 people. I think it's over 100 people. I have to do the final numbers, but I'm pretty sure it's over 100 people about what they thought about superhero fatigue. So we went around and actually interviewed people. All right. I have a video coming out on that. The video that I'm going to do after that is about how access media marketing, social media, and PR from all of these Hollywood companies, every single person involved needs to be fired. Fire everyone. Fire all of the marketers. Fire all of the asshole idiot journalists. They all suck. Oh my gosh, Pedro Pascal, his daddy. Shut the fuck up. It is disgusting. It's not bringing people into the box. Look at how good the box office is on this, huh? Oh my gosh, Pedro Pascal is daddy. Shut the fuck up. It disgusts me to the core. Like that's how these companies think marketing needs to be. And like, as somebody that's been doing marketing forever, and it's the entire thing of learning how to connect with people, like that's marketing. Marketing is learning how to connect with people and tell stories and then deliver on the things that these people need or want, right? That's marketing. And oh my gosh, we're going to touch each other in all these promotions. Oh my gosh, Pedro Pascal is daddy. Disgusting. You disgust me. Drop into the volcano. You go first. You're going first. I've been saying since I started this channel, there are 5 people ruining entertainment: the writers, the journalists, the social media people, the marketing people, and the corporate executives. Holy crap, man. So when it comes to the hate around Pedro Pascal, you know what nobody really says? Nobody really hates on him for his acting, because the guy is not a bad actor. He's just a social idiot. He's a social moron. And he says stupid things that polarize people. And I'm sick of it myself. I think we're all pretty sick of it. But anyway, that's oh my gosh, you're such a daddy. Fired. You're to be fired. You'd be fired. No way. At a time, it's wild to me. At a time when consumer trust with access media, at a time when consumer trust with journalism has never been lower. And you're going to pull this daddy shit. That's disgusting to me. It's ridiculous. And you know what? It's not bringing people out to the theaters. Take a look at this. Let's go ahead. Is your daddy shtick working? Huh? Doesn't look like it. Fantastic Four box office dips 42% on Saturday, showing signs of front-loading and diminishing MCU momentum. Uh-oh, that's not good. Not a good sign. All right, so what does this really mean? What does this really mean? We'll get into this in just a second. We're gonna read this. Marvin is a buddy. I think I'll be on his show at some point soon. But you had your Thursday night previews. You had your Friday release day. And then there's a drop-off on Saturday because they combine the previews and Friday together. Now, that's kind of been happening to all the movies, but a 42% drop between Thursday, Friday combined, people aren't going on Saturdays or this past Saturday, yesterday, in the volume that they had been before. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. The access media may be painting a rosy picture of Disney's new Fantastic Four movie, but the Saturday box office slide could be concerning for the House of Mouse. In a summer dominated by superhero spectacles, Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four First Steps arrived in theaters July 25th amid high expectations for a franchise reboot. Hey, there's something I forgot to point out before. The entire story with the female Silver Surfer, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't girl bossery. It wasn't self-insert. It wasn't, again, all the things that people have been asking for Marvel to do and correct. There is actually a narrative reason for this character to be a female. Okay. There actually is a reason for this character to be there. And it worked for the story they were trying to tell. Okay. It did, in the context of this film, it worked. I'll give them that. Would I have preferred Norrin Radd? Yes. Norrin Radd is the main Silver Surfer who's a dude. I would have preferred to see him. She was all right, but the story there made sense. Was she that great? Do I ever care to see her again? Not really. The narrative there, though, there was a payoff to this choice. That I can confess that. Okay. Directed by Matt Shackman and starring Pedro Pascal. All right, we got all that. We don't need all that. Here we go. A strong start followed by a steep slide. The Fantastic Four First Steps kicked off with $24.4 million from Thursday previews, the highest such figure of 2025. That's interesting. And you know what? In the theater that Kata and I went to, it was packed. It was packed. We saw it in IMAX in a town that I'm shocked there was that like people. And I didn't realize that this town was like, it wasn't Raleigh, but it was far away from where we are here. We actually drove out. It was over a 90-minute drive to get out there. And I was very surprised to see how packed it was. Like there was a lot of people. I didn't realize that town like went to movies like this. So a lot of people went out Thursday night, including us. 24 million from Thursday previews was the highest figure of 2025, which, hey, that means it beat Superman, which was 22 million. This propelled Friday's total, including previews, to 57 million, marking the second biggest opening day of the year behind a Minecraft movie. Yeah. See, Minecraft was huge, but it's because it was a meme. People were not there to celebrate the movie or enjoy the movie. It's because they wanted to make fun of it. Initial projections hovered around 120 million to 125 million for the 3-day domestic weekend, with some insiders optimistic about surpassing Superman's 125 million debut. Yet, Saturday brought a reality check. Earnings dipped. Okay, hang on here. You and Kata went on a date. Really? I hit the wrong button. No, we didn't. We just shared beards. Okay. I don't like this kind of talk that we went on a date. That's kind of not cool. We were just sharing beards. That's all. All right, hang on. Let's pull this back up. Yet Saturday brought a reality check. Earnings dipped to 33 million, a 42% drop from Friday's non-preview adjusted haul. This decline is notably steeper than recent superhero comparables, such as Superman's 33%, Deadpool and Wolverine's 36%, Captain America Brave New World's 32%, and Thunderbolts is 22%. 42% drop is kind of huge. But that's what's been indicated here. Everybody went out Thursday and Friday, which means, what does that mean? Chat, what does that mean? That means the people who want to see these things are going right away. They're going to the first showings. But then there's people like me and Kata, and what do? We make content. We make content on this stuff. So we got to be the first to see it so that we can talk about it for you. Everybody else, well, those are the super fans. But what's wild to me is how we can tell how that super fan territory has dramatically decreased. It has closed in. It has condensed, right? So actually, that's spoilers, but that's the video that we have coming out tomorrow, which is superhero fatigue real? Kind of, yeah, but not in the way that it keeps being presented. There's so much happening. There's so much there. There's so much available. There's so much competition, and everything has been so middlingly mediocre that no one really cares. Like no one really cares anymore that, hey, a new Marvel's out. It's like, yeah, there's no leadership direction. Where is it going next? Like, I don't really care. Is Robert Downey Jr. in it? No, then I don't care. Is Chris Evans Captain America again? No, then I don't care. Is Thor in it? No, I don't care. You don't give people enough reasons to care, and it's not special anymore, which is why we're in the position we're in. Sunday estimates came in at 27.8 million, a projected 16% ease from Saturday, pushing the domestic total to around 118 million, below the high end of forecasts and short of pre-release hype that pegged it at 125 million to 135 million. So if we're coming in at 118 million, guys, see, this is insane. This is wild to me. It's like, here we go. This is the big one. This is the big kahuna. Disney desperately needs this to win. And we're looking that, will it do better than Thunderbolts and Brave New World, Captain America? Yes. But 118 million opening weekend, is not great domestically when this needed to be the movie of the summer. Like, take the whole Superman fight out of it. That doesn't matter to me. Well, in this discussion, what mattered is that this movie dominated, and now it's coming in below expectations. 118 million is not enough for what this movie needed to be here in the States. Now what's going to be important is, can this leg out over time? Probably not. This isn't a movie that is like intended for young kids, you know? Like Minecraft, kids can watch that. Disney's Lilo and Stitch, kids could watch that. Even Snow White, of all things, was intended for children. Fantastic Four, while kids can enjoy it, it's much more elevated in age range. And especially the fact, I think this movie's scary. Yeah, I think this movie has a bit of existentialism to it with how they did Galactus and how grand scale Galactus is. I think kids might find him scary. Genuinely. It's a well-done villain. But it's not exactly the kind of villain that little kids might like. I don't know about that one. That's kind of an idea I was just coming up with now. Interesting there. This front-loaded pattern, let me go full screen again. This front-loaded pattern where opening day is inflated by diehard fans, but subsequent days falter, highlights a potential erosion in casual audience turnout. Something that once propelled Marvel projects. And there it is. I mean, that's it. That's it, man. The casual audience. People get mad at me when I talk about this, and I don't give a shit. People get mad at me. They're like, oh, Wizard, you don't know what you're talking about. If they just catered everything to the diehard super fans, they'd make all the money in the world. If they just went all in on what Zack Snyder wanted to do, DC would have made all the money in the world. If they just did one-to-one copies of comics, if Kevin Feige just did one-to-one copies of comics, they'd make all the money in the world. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. I got to go full screen again for this. I got to go bigger. Normies matter a lot. You need normies on the road to $1 billion. You need normies to see your movie, to watch your shows, to buy your video games, to buy your books, to watch your content. You need normies. And I'm not being derogatory. I'm not mocking anybody. I actually don't know how else to say normie, just a normal person. So I say normie because the nerds kind of understand who that is. There's a perception of what we think of normies are. And that doesn't mean that they're boring people. It just means that they're regular people that go about their lives and work their 9-to-5s. And then they come back and they want to be entertained on the nights and weekends. And they're just looking for something to pass the time. And you hope that it's you that they are spending their time and their money on. And in this case, Marvel has lost the normie audience. That's insane. That is wild to me, considering that this was the biggest franchise of all time as far as films is concerned, not too long ago. And here we got a movie that's actually pretty good. Actually pretty good, and people don't care. Apathy is here to stay, and that's bananas. That's totally bananas. All right, we did get some super chats I want to pull up. Instant Messenger Sama for a 5 says, TikTok era movies are simply not as tasteful. Some scenes need more time to breathe. Yeah, they really do. That's a really good point. TikTok era movies are just not that good. But can you believe it that that's the world we're in? Like, that's the truth. That's the world we're in, where people are developing movies and shows and things that are meant to be played in the background of you scrolling on your phone. That's nuts. That's crazy to me. That's where Hollywood's at now. It's not about making art. It is about commerce. It is about transactions. It is about selling content not movies and shows. They're selling content that they can pad advertising into, that they can make more money upon. Gone are the days of actually telling stories that emotionally resonated with people. Now it is 100% about making as much money as possible at the cost of carving the soul and artistic integrity out of everything that they're developing and everything we've ever loved. You're absolutely right. And it's a scary thing. It's a really scary thing. Instant Messenger Sama for a 5. Thank you for that. Thank you for those. Very kind of you. An R-rated Century movie would be great. It has the potential to be. Sure, it does. It has the potential to be. I'm going to give you my prediction. My brother and I have been talking about this. I'm going to give you my prediction for what's going to happen in Avengers Doomsday. And I hope I'm wrong here, but it does have to do with Sentry. You see, Sentry, based on the context of the Thunderbolts movie, Sentry is an Omega level threat. Like, he's a big deal. It's very hard to defeat Sentry because he's like the Superman of the MCU. He's actually too strong to take on Doom. And because Doom is new, the filmmakers are going to have to do something that establishes Doom as an actual intimidating threat. And I think it's going to be, he's going to like one-shot Sentry. That's what I think is going to happen. I think they are going to cut Sentry's balls off. They're going to emasculate him. They're going to tear him apart. And Doom is going to eradicate him very quickly and very briskly. And it's going to be like him snapping his fingers to get it done. It's going to be like he's barely even trying. And that is how they're going to set the tone for Avengers Doomsday, that Doom is actually a worthwhile threat. That kind of sucks, but I can see it happening. I could see that happening. But thank you for those. Fry's Slaughter Lounge, I'm trying to sleep. And you, wait a second. You put on the Wizards Crash Out to serenade you to sleep? I mean, I'm down for it, man. But if I had to listen to this voice as I was trying to go to sleep, I don't know if I'd be able to. I don't know if I'd be able to do it. The average of people watching films per theater is 11%, which is trash. That is an 11 people out of 100 seats in a theater on average. Yeah. So funny about that's a really interesting stat. So I was doing the numbers myself for this new video tomorrow. And did you know that if every person in America saw one movie a year or two movies a year, the box office would explode? Like if the average American saw 2 to 3 movies, the box office would boom. But the reality is, and based off the numbers that you have here, there is swaths of people not seeing any movies at all each year. And then, so there are non-moviegoers. These are people that do not go to the theaters, and there's a lot of them. And then there are moviegoers, people like myself and many of the content creators that you watch, and they see everything. Okay, so you have people that see everything, which is a very small amount of people, and then you have people that don't go at all, which is a lot of people. And like that's the proportion of movies. If you just had everybody go 2 or 3 times, the box office would explode. Everything would be making a fortune. Seriously. It's nuts. Nexus Nocturne, what's up, Wizard? I'm just now popping in. Well, we're just getting through our Fantastic Four rant discussion. We're going to tie that up now. Let's tie up Fantastic Four because there's really not much more to it. I don't even have it in me to do a full video review because I just don't care enough to do that. There's other videos I'd rather do and talk about, right? But if I'm to talk about this, Fantastic Four First Steps, I did not hate it. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. It did not do all the negative and terrible things that people all over the internet complain about Hollywood injecting and doing with their films. It actually is a cohesive story with relatable characters that you kind of like. The characters are likable, so it's not bad. The story is not bad. The villain is a formidable threat that the entire time you're thinking, how are they going to beat him? And I was pleasantly surprised with that. This movie had straight couple romances. When was the last time we saw positive straight couple romances, you guys, in a Disney movie? It just don't happen. It don't happen. So seeing it here, I was like, ooh, that's nice to see. That's nice. It also had positive family dynamics. The four of them together, it works. The four of them, the Fantastic Four together, worked very well. I thought the acting was good. I thought the characterization was pretty good, and I didn't hate Pedro Pascal. Okay, you're going to talk about collective Karen's situation. Yeah, we're about to talk about that, but maybe from a different perspective than what everybody else has been saying. Maybe a different perspective. Yes, that's huge. Okay, the entire story here is about a mom and a dad. That's the story. It's a mom and a dad. When was the last time we got positive mom and dad in a story? We just don't do it. They don't do that anymore, especially from Disney. So, no, I didn't hate this movie. I quite enjoyed it. I did quite enjoy it. Louise joining us now. Hi, Wizard. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, Daddy Pascal. Mods, boot Big Ben. Boot Big Ben, please. Daddy Pascal. That is so gross. It is disgusting. I'm joking about the banning, but yeah, do not ban Big Ben. That's a joke. Talk about the T app. You want to know what I think about the T app? I'll tell you what I think about the T app. For those of you who don't know, there was an application called T, which probably is still out. I don't have the full story here, but I'm going to tell you is what I believe. I will give you my resolution on this whole story. That's all. We're not going to pull it up. We're not going to look through articles. This is being blown out of proportion. The T app is a place where, and I'm sure I'm getting this wrong. I'm misconstruing this argument, but more or less, it was a place for women to discuss relationships with men. And there is evidence that was abused, and they talked negatively about men, and that sucks. But also, a lot of men suck. But also, having a place to share photos of men and talk shit is not something that I want to see. And there's definitely evidence that that's what was happening here. So this is an application where people are getting on and just complaining. That's what I see this app as. It was a place to bitch and moan. And whether it was men on it or women on it, I don't care. There's a lot of bitching and moaning. So my resolution to this is what I was saying yesterday. I was saying it in a private chat with some friends. People are now getting hurt because of this, which is sad. Just sad. I don't think anybody should be getting hurt because of this. There was information on this application that was completely leaked. You had driver's license get leaked, IP addresses, locations where people are, where they were posting from, selfies that were maybe not the best looking selfies of these people that they were posting on this site, or they were using to validate their identities, and all the information was totally leaked online. And now there are websites that are taking all of these photos and putting it in a kind of a hot or not, where you have to choose between two of the people two of the photos that pop up on screen. I'm concerned about that. That's bad, and it's not going. Stories like this is not going to contribute to men and women trusting each other more. You know, like that's not going to. The resolution of this is not more trust. It's even less trust. It's even more hatred for everybody. So this kind of discussion makes me very sad. I think if you have problems with people, you talk to the people directly. And we need to stop thinking that it's a good idea to air grievances out to people that have no idea who you are. In the sense of just finding a place to bitch and moan about your relationships in public forums, in group forums. Fix your shit. Fix your shit. ask your friends for help. I think, especially when it comes to relationships, to boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend. I don't give a shit who you did. To dating relationships, talk with close friends, get a shrink, get a therapist. But this whole public forum thing, like, I would never do that. I actively disrespect the idea that anybody had to. You go get professional help. But you know what? And this is where I start to get a little negative on it myself. Is people don't want to fix their shit. Men don't want to fix their shit. Women don't want to fix their shit. Everybody wants to bitch and moan and complain. And so we get applications like this, which are intended to get you onto a platform because the developers of this app knew that you were going to bitch and moan and complain. And it's not good for anyone. It's not good for you. I've had terrible things happen to me. You've had terrible things happen to you. We all have. Every one of us watching this, we've all had terrible things happen to us. Fix your shit. Take responsibility of your life. And if you've been dating people that suck, I've been dating people that suck. Look inward. Look inward. Look in a mirror. Who picked them? You did. You picked them. So I don't really feel bad for anybody that refuses to acknowledge that there is self-growth and introspection that needs to happen there. I am sad the fact that this is just going to multiply the distrust that people have with each other. So that's rough, man. That's rough. Having all of that information for all these women get out there on the internet, that's not going to reassure people that it's not going to reassure people. Let's just put it in perspective. If there was women who hate men and they were talking about how they hate men on this app, right? And then men took that information and blew it up, took their personal information and blew it up online, does that not reinforce their hatred of men? You see what I mean? I'm not defending them. I'm just trying to empathize with the people in that position. But maybe you're a man. And maybe you hear about what's going on here and you hear that, oh my God, there's an application where all these women are just talking mad shit on men. Fuck that. I'm going to blow it up because you feel like you're being attacked because you're a man. You feel like they're attacking you. So you go and kick their castle. I say it on a bunch of streams and I'll say it here. There are two ways to build the biggest building. Option one, you build the biggest building in town. You just be the best you can be. And option two is you run around kicking other people's buildings down. And I don't necessarily mean this for the guys. I mean this for the women that wanted to talk shit on here as well, that wanted to talk shit on T. You go around and just kick down everybody else's towers so that you yourself can just build the biggest tower without having to do anything. So you want to talk about the T app? It makes me sad that it's going to lead to more distrust in the overall internet culture, in the overall world. It's just going to lead to more distrust and it's going to lead to more pain. And I think people are just going to get hurt. And I think that sucks. So my answer, my call to action with this situation is be the better person yourself. Be the best version of you and fix your shit. And if you've got problems with relationships, figure out a way to make it work. Leave. Have a conversation. Have an intervention. Obviously, I don't have all the answers. Shit's hard. Shit is hard. Okay. We've all got some really terrible things have happened to all of us. The last thing you should do is go to a public forum to bitch and fucking moan. I actively hate that. It disgusts me. It disgusts me that, oh my God, this guy was so terrible and blah, 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 blah. And then you find out it really wasn't that bad. You just wanted to fucking complain. Because on the other side, there are people that actually do have to deal with terrible things. And you're the one complaining. You didn't have to do with anything. I'm done with the stream. Have a good day, everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye-bye. I just said at the beginning, I'm not going to temper or change my words because you don't like what I have to say. If you don't like what I have to say, I'm not sorry. I'm literally advocating for everybody here. That's what I'm talking about. That's a problem. With respect, fuck off. With respect. If you can't handle that. I'm not that. There are people you asked me to talk about the T app. It's a really good topic. It needs to be discussed, and I wish more people were bringing the kind of candor to it that I am, of people are getting hurt on all sides. I wish it didn't have to be that way. The only way through that is for all of us to start being better people. That's it. So cool. And I think that's a good way to end that one. I think that's a good way to end that topic. That's the answer. That's the answer. How do we solve this tea problem so that it doesn't happen? Each of us has to just be better people. We all have to be better people. And if you don't want to be a better person and you want to fucking complain, oh, my life is so difficult. Yeah, get in line. Get in line, bud. Get in line, man. It's wild. Everybody's got hard times out there. But there's something I say all the time. Never black pill. You never black pill. You never let that and I'm somebody who battles depression. And I'm telling you, you never black pill. Bad things happen. The bad things that happen, you make you stronger, man. The bad things that happen make you so much stronger to be able to take on the things. It's all training. That's all it is. Every time something bad happens, it's just a little bit of training. It might set you back a little bit. You might need to recover. You might need to heal. You might need to get yourself up off that mat after you take one hit or two. Shit, I was out of commission for almost 2 years myself. But the best thing that we can always do when things are hard is to just be the best version of ourselves. That's all we can try to do. And that's not easy. That's not easy. Dumb Bear says, this isn't an airport. You don't have to announce your exit. Look, I know the guy. So, if he wants to leave, so be it. Not a big deal. I'm not crying over it. Yes, it needs to be discussed. No, it does. It definitely should. Definitely should be discussed. Next is Nocturne with a 5. Taking time to heal is what more people need, myself included. Spread some love for better days. Well, thank you for the 5 there. That's very kind of you. I look back on the things that I dealt with that really like beat the crap out of me, that I had to recover from, right? And they were all relationship based. They were all relationship based, right? But those things make you so strong in the long run. Like when you get through that and you're able to look back and be like, I needed that. I needed to be shattered and I needed to put myself back together, because now I can take care of other people and try to get them on the right course when they're shattered. And I've always kind of looked at it that way of it makes you a better warrior. And I think that's, and I don't mean like, wielding swords and running through, in a war, right? I'm not talking about like a gladiator pit or something. Although sometimes it feels like that. It emotionally feels like that sometimes. But being ready for the fight or being ready for the next fight is critical. And the only way you can feel that way, the only way you're ready for those next fights, is if you've experienced some. So yes, I look around and I see this tea thing, and people are going to get hurt. People are getting hurt. Even right now, people are getting hurt from this whole stupid friggin' tea thing, because there was a guy who had a company who decided to, people like to bitch and moan on the internet. I wonder if I had an app specifically designed for bitching and moaning. I'll get all their data. Maybe they'll pay a premium for it. And I don't know if there actually was credit card transactions on the app, but all that data could have been sold, and instead it just got leaked. And now it's been run amok on 4chan and Twitter and probably Reddit. So wild, wild stuff. Wild stuff. Wizard was out of commission until he met Smash. Oh, yes. Yes, me and my buddy Smash. We had a good time. Actually, we had a great time. we had a really great time hanging out at Southeast Game Exchange 2 weekends ago. We had a really great time, and I had a table. So like me and my crew, we had a table there. We were hanging out, and he was with us the whole time. We're just messing with people, not bad, not in a bad way. We just, people would come by, and then I had these badges, right? I actually have one sitting right here. So this was the one I was wearing, right? So it's a little backwards, but it just says Fake Wizard News, right? So this is the one I was wearing, and we made like 200 of them. We made 200 of these silly badges, and we just had them out on the table. We were giving them out for free. And on the flip side of the badges, it has a little business card that has the QR code for Fake Portal. So in a lot of ways, it was like handing out business cards, but it's like these little badges. And we put funny sayings on them, like money's longer than James Cameron. For those of you who've seen Dracula Flow, which is ridiculous. Or can out Pizza the Hut, or Chalupa Enjoyer, or, just the absolute silliest things. And we were giving these out to people. Like one of these badges had owner of Sonichu medallion on it. And like people took that. People legitimately took those badges, which I thought was insane. So that was wild. We had a really great time. But absolutely. All right, here, last question, and then we'll jump back into it. If you had a choice to not be shattered and had a chance to avoid it, would you take it? Nope, I would take it every time. I would allow what played out to play out. I have zero regrets. I have absolutely zero regrets. 100%. Zero. None. I would make everything that all the bad things. I have no regrets. Let them all happen again. Let them all happen again. No way. Yeah. Thank you, Kelly, for that. It led to this. It led to us being here together right now. All the bad things that have happened to me led to this moment, which is like, I'm thankful for that. Are things harder right now than probably ever? Well, I can't even say ever before, but are things tough right now? Yeah. Things are really tough right now. We got a lot of work we got to do, but it is what it is. That's how life unfolds. And I'm better off now because of all those things, just like we all can be. It's all a matter of perspective. Perspective means everything. But no, live with zero regret. Zero regret. All right, let's get in. Last topic of the day, and this is a doozy, so hang on. If you thought we were just kind of coasting before, lock and load. All right. What we are about to read is a discussion, and it's a follow-up from last week's talk, where I discussed Steam and how I was talking about how credit card companies are playing God. Credit card companies are forcing Steam, itch.io, and soon a lot more people, or a lot more businesses, into doing what they want. Okay? There's only 4 major credit card companies in the world: Discover, American Express, MasterCard, and Visa. If you are caught in the crosshairs with one of these companies, you will lose access to credit card processing. So you do not want to upset these companies at all. You do not want to have them on your bad side. Personally, in my line of business, I have seen where businesses have come kind of under fire from these card companies, and it's not something you want to do. People talk about online how easy it is to get canceled, right? How easy it is to be deplatformed by something like YouTube. Multiply that by 18 times, and that's how much easier it is to be smote by the credit card companies. If you get out of line and they get upset with you for anything, you could lose really your whole business. Your entire way of monetization could go the way of the dinosaur, go the way of the dodo. So what we're looking at here and what the situation is, we're going to read this entire statement, and then I'm going to break it down and kind of explain a little bit about what's going on. But so far, just as a preface, Steam has had to delist specific games and content that are legal in the states that they're in, or the countries that they're in. They've had to delist games and that are specifically considered not safe for work. Okay. Usually this is a little adult themed that I don't particularly care for myself. I don't want these games myself. I wouldn't play them. But there is a larger conversation about censorship that I really don't like, the idea of censorship or giving anyone the power to assert control on what I can think, do, and express. Okay. So now we talked about Steam last week. Let's talk about itch.io now, because we're gonna read this statement together. Let's zoom it in here. So we are on itch.io, and this is an update on NSFW content. This is not safe for work. Oh, come on. I clicked on it. Go back. I don't know. I have to wait until it comes back. So I'm switching over to the Galaxy Con tab until it. Stupid thing. Hang on. Okay. Because I didn't know it was going to come up, so I had to switch the screen. Anyway, you click on NSF content, God forbid what's going to come up. Jeez. Okay. So this is itch.io. Update on NSFW content. We have de-indexed all adult NSFW content from our browse and search pages. Okay, this is important here because that means it's technically still available, but it's hidden. Okay, that means the content has been de-indexed, which means you can't find it. But if you had the link directly, you could still find it. Okay. We understand this action is sudden and disruptive, and we are truly sorry for the frustration and confusion caused by this change. Recently, we came under scrutiny from our payment processors regarding the nature of some content hosted on itch.io. Due to a game titled No Mercy, which was temporarily available on itch.io before being banned back in April. See, this is an important precedent here. The game was there, and it was already banned by itch themselves. Okay, which means that somebody posted this game called No Mercy, and itch themselves rectified the situation. The organization Collective Shout launched a campaign against Steam and itch.io, directing concerns to our payment processors about the nature of certain content found on both platforms. Collective Shout is an organization that a lot of people have been talking about. People try to spin political connotations around it. People try to label it as a politically charged organization. Perhaps that's true. I don't have enough evidence in front of me. I also haven't looked into it enough to prove whether that's true. I actually don't like the idea that we're calling this a political organization. I don't like that we would lean on it being a left or right political organization, because left and right mean different things in different countries, and Collective Shout is an Australian organization. Okay. This is the kind of thing. I got to go full screen for this. I feel compelled to kind of jump the gun with the resolution to this story already. We're going to continue reading it, but I do want to tell you what this is about in a little more detail. This is about power. This is about power and influence. And Collective Shout is attempting to use the credit card processors as a loaded gun to dismantle and take out all of the businesses that they do not agree should exist. It is a form of censorship. And I must give credit where credit is due. Collective Shout choosing to align themselves with the credit card processors is deviously evil. It is deviously, wickedly smart. And if we were to consider this as like a business war, if these are factions in play, battling each other for power and vying after control, then Collective Shout's choice of manipulating and controlling the credit card processors to do the legwork and do the dirty work for them, they get so much credit in my book, because I know personally how wicked and terrifying the credit card companies can truly be. People have often said, like, I can't believe Steam bent the knee to this. I can't believe itch.io is bending the knee to the credit card companies. Or really what they really say is, I can't believe they're bending the knee to Collective Shout. How does Collective Shout have this much influence? How do they have this much power? You're not paying attention. Collective Shout has strong-armed the credit card companies through the use of the production of NSFW content. They've mobilized the production the credit card companies to fight the battles for them. Steam, as big as it is, does not have the ability to go to war with credit card processors, because the credit card processors are global. It's around the world. It's the big four: Discover, American Express, Visa, MasterCard. What is Steam going to do? Make their own credit card? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. I want you to think right now. Many of you have your wallets in the same rooms as you. You might have one in your pocket. I have credit cards here sitting on my table. What are the names on your credit cards? For me, some of them are Visa. Okay. And then I also happen to have sitting here just happens to be the the key card from when I was in Mexico, because I didn't I forgot to give it back. But that's not a credit card. We have credit and debit cards. They all say Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover. And if you can control what the credit card companies do or who they attack, you control what businesses can do. All right, let's go wider. Our ability to process payments is critical for every creator on our platform. To ensure that we can continue to operate and provide a marketplace for all developers, we must prioritize our relationships with our payment partners and take immediate steps towards compliance. That is scary. That is scary. Because that means that is proof right there. We must prioritize our relationship with our payment processors and take immediate steps towards compliance, which means if we're out of compliance, we could lose our processor entirely, which kills the entire business. Or, and here's a big thing I pointed out yesterday, perhaps the payment processors say, hey, yeah, you could sell the NSFW content. Sure you can, but all of your credit card fees are going to go up. The average credit card fee is anywhere between 2.7% to 3% plus 30 cents. I think that's usually what it is. And now the payment processors technically would have the power to say, if you're not in compliance, we're just going to raise your fees. Now you're paying 6, 7, 8% because you don't have safe for content work on your website. That's terrifying. This is a time critical moment for itch.io. The situation developed rapidly, and we had to act urgently to protect the platform's core payment infrastructure. See, people are not understanding that. Itch.io could have been dead. Dead, gone. Gone. Business is gone forever. And here's how it works with payment processors, my friends. It's not just the business that gets shut down. It's the business owners, too. It's every partner that's associated with the business. Let's say that this was a corporation, and there was ownership shares amongst maybe a panel or a board or something. Every one of those board members could have been flagged and blacklisted from getting a payment processor, which means if they have any other businesses that they're involved in, all the other businesses are toast too, or under attack or under scrutiny, because it all goes back to them being blacklisted by one of the major four processors. That's how serious this is. So for every idiot on Twitter that's saying, and I know they're saying it from a place of good faith, why didn't they stand up for freedom of speech? Because they can't. It's a loaded gun to their head. Metaphorically. Inter area. Because I know even doing this is going to get YouTube is going to be upset. Because we have a censorship problem. Jeez. It all goes back to the freedom of expression is being controlled by mega corporations. Because they don't want you to express yourself. They don't want you to think. They don't want you to feel. They want to control what you do. They want you to get back to work. It is that dystopian. It is that terrible. It is that science fiction-y. That's all real shit. Here's a good example of that. Again, would I purchase or play any of these games? No. No, I wouldn't. I play Kingdom Hearts. That's what I play on my off time. I'm wearing a Jack Skellington shirt, okay? But I wouldn't take away somebody's ability to express themselves with those types of games. Would I maybe try to sway them away from engaging in that kind of content? Sure. Would I say, hey, that's probably not good for you. It's not good for the noggin to be engaging in those kinds of content. It's not good. Statistics show that engaging in all that kind of stuff is not good for the brain, Sam. Not good for the brain. But I'm not going to take away your ability to do it. I'm not going to take away your ability to purchase that or play those games or engage in that kind of stuff, because I believe in freedom of expression. And this is a wild conversation that it has to do with how dangerous the credit card processors are. Unfortunately, this meant it was not realistic to provide creators with advance notice before making this change. We know this is not ideal, and we apologize for the abruptness of this change. This is because they were under the gun. This is evidence they were under the gun. We are currently conducting a comprehensive audit of content to ensure we can meet the requirements for our payment processors. Pages will remain de-indexed as we complete our review. Once this review is complete, we will introduce new compliance measures. Compliance is a word that scares the shit out of me right now. I don't like that word. Compliance can be used as a cudgel to accomplish anything. You need to be in compliance. Compliance is a terrifying term. Terrifying term. For NSFW pages, this will include a new step where creators must confirm that their content is allowable under the policies of their respective payment processors linked to their account. Part of this review will see some pages being permanently removed from itch.io. Affected accounts will be notified via their account email address from our support address. You can reply to that email if you have any follow-up questions. We ask for your patience and understanding as we navigate this challenging period. I'm sorry we cannot share more at this time, as we still are getting a full understanding of the situation ourselves. What's wrong with the word compliance? Well, I've seen the word compliance used to dramatically mislead people. Personally, it's a scary term. You could hide a lot inside of the word compliance. Why couldn't they just keep the games on there but not allow them to buy them through those credit card companies? Instead, we use PaySafe cards or Steam cards. Well, so that's the thing. We're not on Steam right now. The Steam cards are basically gift cards. PaySafe cards, this is going to be the kind of... Okay. This is a very good question. I need to go full screen for this so I can explain it. The way that the payment processors work, that I have seen with my own eyes, I have worked with clients where this has happened. We have been hit with situations that say, hey, you are selling XYZ. We're going to take the entire payment processor away for as long as you have XYZ on your website. So it's not a matter of like hiding it or putting it somewhere else or using something else to buy it. It's literally, we'll dismantle your entire site if you don't get that product off your storefront. Jeez, my brain was twitching out there. You will own nothing, have nothing, and you'll be happy. Yeah, and if you keep saying it to yourself, you just might be happy, right? Eat the bugs. Sooner or later, Steam will be asked to remove other games. This game is too sexy. Remove it. This game is too brutal. Remove it. Yes. Yes. That's where we're heading. That is where we're heading. I don't know how to fight this. I don't know yet. All I know is that this is pretty serious. I don't have the solution for how we fight back. I wish I did, but I don't. You know, everything that has to do with like, oh, hey, AAA games are bad. It's like, well, what do we do? Stop buying the AAA games and go support competition. Like, I can do that. I can give you fake Portal and we can fight the good fight. I don't have a solution for this one because they're going to be coming after everything. And it's only a matter of time before this expands into other territories and things get really bad. But, all right, hang on real quick. I need to drink this water here because my throat is burning out. Be right back. America's got an inflammation problem. Did you know that 35% of all United States Americans suffer from chronic inflammation? And that's normally connected to their poor diet or lack of exercise. We have found that a really good solution to combating this chronic inflammation comes in the form of matcha. Yeah, matcha, the green tea. Matcha is considered to have some of the highest concentrations of antioxidants, which means it naturally will help your body fight inflammation. With just 2 grams of matcha each day, people have reported a decrease in inflammation, a decrease in free radicals, which are known to cause cancer, and an increase in relaxed focus. I would love some relaxed focus. In my line of work, I have to deal with Steve, and Steve is like the opposite of an antioxidant. The science here is based on over 1,000 years of trial and error, allowing R.W. Golden and myself, as a part of the company, to deliver you the highest quality, USDA-certified, organic, ceremonial-grade matcha available on the market. But I want you to see the benefits hands-on. Go to rwmatcha.com/wizard right now to save 10% on your order of a 50-gram tin. Thank you. Okay. That was good. I need to shoot a new one of those. That was pretty good. Shout out to rwgolden.com, which is how we're keeping the lights on with selling matcha. And it's really good stuff. My voice has been going out. I did a video this morning, the video that's going to be coming out tomorrow, and I recorded it, and my voice is weak. And I don't know if it's because we've been doing so much or like been doing a lot of content, going to these conventions, but my like throat here is shot. I'm losing my voice. It's getting like people. What's really funny is I get comments all the time that are like, "Oh, you're doing such a fake voice. Oh, you're like pirate software doing a fake voice." It's like, dude, I can tell you haven't watched my streams, you don't watch my videos, and you definitely don't listen to me, because the longer I talk, my voice deteriorates so fast. And it just naturally gets like dark and deeper like this, where, you know, in the video, I'm like, wow, my voice is shot. And it is. And it's like, I sound like I smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. But all right, let's finish this up here, and then we will move along. We ask for your patience and understanding as we navigate this challenging period. I'm sorry we cannot share more at this time, as we are still getting a full understanding of the situation ourselves. We will post a follow-up on our blog if the situation changes. This is a terrifying situation, my friends, and I really like how itch.io handled this. I'm really happy with them announcing it and posting publicly who Collective Shout was, and calling attention to who is lobbying the payment process, the credit card companies about this situation, who is lobbying them to do this. I think that's a good thing. But I do want to point out, and it's something I said before, this entire thing is about power and control. That is all this is. It's power, control, and maybe a little bit of money. And Collective Shout is an organization that wants their belief system to become the belief system, which puts them in the category of being more of a cult than being a political organization. And that's something that came up when we were on Saturday Night Hypnosis last night, is that Hypno said that it's more like a cult. And I kind of agree with that. And I think that's what we should identify this group as. We should point out that they are a cult and that they are not politically oriented, because it's more than just politics. And when you start making things political, you lose people. When you start saying something is Democrat, you lose people that are Republican. And when you say something's Republican, you lose Democrats, and vice versa, and all, and up and down and left and right. Politics is stupid. It's always been there to control you. That's all politics is ever is, was, or is going to be. It's politics, bullshit. Don't say it that way. Don't say that it's politically oriented. It's a cult. And that's not disingenuous. It is a cult. It's cult-like idealism. It is trying to project their ideals upon you at the cost of your freedom of expression. As an American, fuck that. I know they're Australian. I know we got a lot of people all over the world that are watching, and I know that there's freedom of expression in other parts of the world. But the biggest thing is and why I love my country is that even though it's run by a bunch of morons, and it has been run by a bunch of morons for the last forever, we still have that freedom of expression. And so the fact that this cult organization is coming along and could threaten that, especially in the sense of gaming, which is something we all love here, that's terrifying. As soon as I have a better situation of what I think we should do, for now, the best thing we could do is keep talking about it. Let's just keep talking about it. Son of a bitch. Did he hear me say his name? Because I did mention him just a minute ago. I did mention Hypnotic just a second ago. And I was saying how you specifically called Collective Shout a cult. And I said I completely agree with that assessment. Wow. Speak his name and he shall appear. That's funny. Dumb Bear says, as a Brit, I am actually jealous of your freedom of speech laws. I fully agree with that assessment, and I am sorry you don't have better freedom of speech laws. Americans take ours for granted all the time. But you look around the world, and you know, maybe you guys could appreciate this. This is kind of a funny offside story. Like I get a lot of crap in my comments, right? And so people attack me in the comments. That's fine. I don't really care. But there's always this like kind of trigger point for me when somebody's saying like, "Oh, you're terrible. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot." I'm like, that doesn't faze me. But then when somebody replies with, "You're just a stupid American," or somebody says like, "Well, oh yeah, you sound like an idiot American," then I go, fuck you. You know, you want to attack me? Oh, you look stupid. You're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't care. You can't hurt my feelings. But then as soon as somebody says like, oh, you just sound like another stupid American. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. You have no idea how amazing my country is. You have no idea how incredible my country is. The fact that like I can do this right now. Like I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. This place fucking rocks. It always has. This place is awesome. And it's filled with a bunch of idiots and it's run by morons, but it's still incredible. There is corruption. There is corporate corruption. There is classism problems. There are problems every corner of America, on every street corner, and yet this is still the best place in the world to live. There is nothing better than living in America. All right, there is nothing better. I don't give a shit. So yeah, I love my international audience. I love you guys, and my heart goes out. It is something that I will actively say. I get a lot of hate for that. There's a lot of people, these self-righteous assholes that go on and they write like these long paragraph stories about how terrible I am, and then somewhere in there they're like, "Oh, you stupid American." I'm like, fuck you. Now I go nuclear. Now I'm going nuclear. Don't come after my country. This is my trash can to rip on, okay? This is my dumpster country to make fun of, not yours. I'll make fun of it myself because I live here, okay? I'll make fun of the orange guy in the White House myself because he's my orange guy. And he is an idiot. And we'll have fun. People don't like that. People don't like that. Yes. Yup. The fuck is a kilometer, man? And that's exactly it. This is a good question. Lord Reptor says, do you have about half the audience not in the United States? I just got a feeling, at least, that you have a very diverse audience on this channel. I know. So hang on. I have a massive diverse audience. We have a lot of people. You know how I know we have a lot of people? Because on Fake Portal, we see like people pinging in like where they are, just like in live real time, where they are in the world when they pop onto to Fake Portal. And there's a lot of people popping in all over the world. So we don't know who you are or what you're doing, but we can just see ping, 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 like a big map. And we see that map light up like a Christmas tree all over the world. I'm pulling up my analytics now because now I'm curious that we started talking about it. Audience. Let's see, where is our audience? So I want to see 57% of my audience is in the United States, which means that almost 40% of my audience is around the rest of the world. That is massive. That is massive. Let me zoom it out though, and we'll get the entire run. That's just within the last 2 weeks. So if I look at the lifetime of my channel right here, which I'm sorry, I can't show it because I will get nuked by YouTube. You're not supposed to show analytics, right? You're not supposed to show your analytics. 56% of my audience is United States, which is insane to me. That means 44% of my audience is from the rest of the world, which means we are a global network of fake wizardry, which is cool, man. And I love that. I really love that. I love the fact that we're able to connect with people all over the world and share ideas and learn things about each other. Like, that's the thing. Being able to interact with you guys has changed my perspective on so much. And the fact that I'm able to point out, like, hey, here are some really evil corporate things that are going on. And then I'll get responses back like, hey, you're talking about what's going on in America. You're missing what's going on over here. You're missing what's going on in Europe. You're missing how terrible things are in Australia or Canada or New Zealand, right? I hear from all of you people that you guys let me know. And it's like, oh, Nikes, I'm missing the bigger picture. It's even worse everywhere else. It's not just me. It's not just me at all. It's not just my country. It's the whole world. So, no, I think we need a little fake magic everywhere. We need to bring fake magic to the world is what we need. Yes, 6% of my entire channel's audience is in the United Kingdom. That's huge. That's massive. So, all right, well, here's a good question that just came through. Aren't MasterCard, Visa, or any of these payment processors investors under BlackRock? They're connected. They're all connected. Absolutely. You know what's really interesting? Look this up. Take a look into this. This is a little homework assignment for fun if you really want to look into it yourself. Go look up how many candidates are funded by Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express. Go look up how many candidates they donate to and who they donate to. Because it's not just Democrats and it's not just Republicans. They donate to everybody. They buy candidates. They are not one, they are some of the companies, the mega corporations that fund candidates in the United States. I think one is too many. I hate that. So you kind of talk about like, oh, hey, here's these credit card companies doing really terrible things. Let's get the government involved to fix it. No. The government gets involved, and what are they going to do? They're just going to take care of their buddies who are funding their campaigns. It's a good quote here. Keep your friends rich and your enemies rich and wait to find out which is which. That's a good Ultron line. Bill Jones says, also Google who the major shareholders are of your favorite anything. I'll bet you it's BlackRock, Vanguard, or State Street Follow-Up. There's also Blackstone, which floats around every now and then. I also see Blackstone, which is funny because there's two companies that are named after a BlackRock. BlackRock and Blackstone. Yup. And now, because I've said all four of these names, it's like summoning the horsemen of the apocalypse. This video is going to get nuked, and so is my channel. So thanks for that. Oh, man. There is so much going on, and it's a mess. It's a mess. But, okay, here we go. We've had a really good run. This has been a very good stream. I apologize that I was a little late today. I will be on time tomorrow. I will be on time next Sunday. We will be back regular time, 1 o'clock Eastern, for more Wizard crashing out. This has been a fun one. We talked about Fantastic Four. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And then we also talked about itch.io and how serious it is, and it is extremely serious. I don't have a solution there. When I do, I will talk more about it. As we tie things up, I have a video dropping tomorrow, probably at 11 o'clock Eastern, okay? If you get the notification for it, please click through and watch it. The title is going to be Are is superhero fatigue real? Okay, that's going to be the title. Please come through and watch it. We're going to need a lot of views on this one. It's taken me 4 days to write this, and I haven't even begun editing. It's going to be a massive edit. It's going to take my entire rest of today. I have to get started on it because this is a really important video. We interviewed a lot of people. It's going to be good. Please watch this video when it comes out. I thank you all so much for hanging out. We've got over 200 people watching across cross-platform, which I am super thankful for. We've got a lot ahead of us. Fakeportal.com. We are bridging the gap between indie games and gamers. That's coming along quite well. We're going to be doing an alpha test very, very soon. We'd like to invite you to be a part of that. It's going to be going live. Hopefully, we intend on sending the first newsletter out August 1st, which will be our first actual showing of what we're doing, followed by the alpha test where we're going to invite people on. There's a lot moving there. We have a lot of work to do, but I'm very excited. We're going to kick ass with that. rwgolden.com for Matcha. Use code WIZARD to save 10%. WizardSanctuary.com. Join the Discord server. Until next time, create, innovate, inspire, and for the love of God, cancel Disney+. And with that, I'm going to see who can we raid. Did I get all the supers? I did get the supers. Let's see. Is there somebody to raid? I think I set it up correctly. With all right, we're going to raid Cult Classic Cage. And everybody, we're going to join the chat. I need everybody to wish Cassie a happy birthday. All right, we're heading over to wish Cassie a happy birthday. All right, shout out to all of you. I will see you very soon. Tomorrow, 11 o'clock Eastern, new video going live. Cancel Disney+. Take care.